Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since I made a video. I think it has been probably at least a month or 2 months or so. And the last times I was making a video, I started my funded future 25k static challenge. Unfortunately, I did blow that account back then. I just didn't want to do any updates, or in the moment, I think for those past 2 months, I kind of like took a step back from, looking at the market a little bit, plus there was election. So I needed to reset myself a little bit. Because since the last payout, I've had a hard time kind of like finding my rhythm, my flow, and then in terms just to like be in the right mindset to even sit in front of the chart and looking at the trade and setup and all this kind of stuff. I was going to wait until January to resume trading, but at the same time I just realized that a part of me was a little bit just afraid that I don't have it, like the psychological doom, like the doubt. So I was able to kind of like work through that and psychologically get over the hump, and decided to do it again and then take things slow, take it easy, aim for realistic targets, and focusing on consistency. So I was discussing with one of my friends about, I think like last week or something, about the idea of like being excellent. Which is something that, there are a lot of like notion of like how to be productive, maximize, get better result. And then one of them is like being disciplined, showing up and all this kind of stuff. But sometimes we do show up, but we don't show up in an excellent way, meaning show up knowing the things that we are supposed to do and then do them and then following through them, without getting ourselves distracted. And I feel like that's kind of like that part of trading that has been holding me back, in a sense that I can get easily distracted by the goal, easily distracted by the potential reward, easily distracted by the potentiality of the freedom that can come with it, all of the external stuff that you don't have yet, that the work may yield, but unfortunately they take time. You have to, in order for them to happen, you have to do them in real time. So taking it one day at a time, that's how you accomplish the big goal. That's how you reach those targets, right? So kind of like as that kind of like psychological shift, about like 2 weeks ago, I decided to take the static account again. If some of you don't know, the 25k static account with my funded futures, they have already disconnected that. So they discontinued it, so you can't buy the challenge anymore. I don't know why. Maybe not a lot of people are buying it and stuff like that, but essentially it's a 25k account with risk parameter of a grand, and you have to reach those different phases, phase 1 through phase 4, and as you reach each phases you get a payout. So those are the rule around it, and as you can see on the chart right now, I'm close to that profit target to pass the phase 1, and I just literally passed it this morning in the AM session. So basically, I'm just gonna scroll down here to show you guys. So I've been on this account for about 6 trading days, and you need 5 trading day minimum, and then 20% consistency rule, and then reaching the target, which is 1500. So as you can see, it has been 4 days in the calendar, plus today will make it 5, and my best day on here is 329. There were not that much of over trading, I would say. So as you can see, it say here 25%. So my best day, which is 329, is 26% of the overall profit. So 5 days in a row, aiming for realistic gain, base hit of 300. So basically I'm trading on a 1 to 2 risk to reward. And as you can see here, my win rate is about a little bit over 40%. And the best rate was 600, the worst is 250. And yeah, so essentially I just passed that this morning. If I can pull it up here. So this morning I came like around 10:30 a.m. session. I look at this fair value gap here on NQ and ES. I initially had this first entry. The risk, I think that was about like $60 or something. Yeah, about 64. And I quickly trailed it to break even, and then it took me out. But as I saw how this candle closed reluctant and how quickly this opened, I thought the setup was valid, so I just re-entered it again. And I pretty much just quickly trailed my stop. I was aiming for ideally this buy side, but ideally is a smooth buy side here. So as you can see here, calculating the risk, that's all I needed, right? So it kind of like had a little bit of retracement, but it just came back down into this inverted fair value gap. And then once it touched the inverted fair value gap, it displays higher and then higher above this minor buy side here that I pointed out, as you can see both on ES and NQ. So once it displays up there, you can see it closes me out. That's me reaching my profit target, and then, you know, be done for the day. So essentially it was a easy morning. I would say yesterday and today was pretty easy. I literally did not take that much trade. As you can see, 2 trades. The first one was break even, and the second one was the one that was profitable, 0 losing trade in a sense, and those are the result here. Officially I passed the phase 1, so I'm eligible for the first payout for phase 1, and then I'll start phase 2. So this is just as a continuation of the series, but for full transparency, the account that I started about 2 months ago, I did blow that account, and I had to take a break. I had to, you know, take a break and figure things out, especially my mindset, psychology, and all that kind of stuff. Most of the stuff that I was talking about at the beginning of the video, and that led me to this point. So fixing, you know, my schedule, how I can manage myself around the structure, my aim, and all of this kind of stuff. So it got me to this point. I passed phase 1. Now we move on to phase 2. This will be the second payout that I've ever gotten from any of those prop firms, and second with my funded future. This is, I think my funded future right now would be my top one instead of top step, just due to some of their incentive, because just them having this kind of account as a milestone, it kind of incentivizes trader to focus on risk management, consistency, aiming for realistic goals to, like, you know, and it will help in your development as a trader, you know, as it is doing in mine. So as you can see with this one, you have 4 phases that you have to go through, and you have to maintain a 20% consistency rule. Your drawdown is going to be static, right? It's not going to move, and then you aim for that profit target. By being able to do it on this account, which is essentially a program with the funding company that you are paying to do, it gives you the confidence to do that yourself. Because now you know that, okay, even if I'm were to manage my personal account, I know that I can do this on a consistent basis, right? I can manage my risk well to get some of those return and then grow my personal account. So you get the you get the experience here, and then the cost is much lower than if you were to put your own as a risk. But if you don't want to deal with any rules of those prop firm, and you don't want to deal with, like, okay, I'm to wait for a prop firm to, like, give me a payout and all this kind of stuff, you know, you can do it yourself, essentially, because you have gone through it. You can show proof that you can do it. You will doubt yourself less, and you kind of like will know how to manage your own fund. But essentially, they discontinued. They ended this program as I sent a notice, I think, a couple of days ago, that after analyzing the data, it is clear that the 25K size will not be returning, and then they will remove any purchase of now, so however, they do have the milestone plan that is left until the end of this month on the 30th. So basically, you got essentially 4 days, and this is for traders that are still trying to find consistency, still trying to get a payout. And this is just my advice. This is not financial advice, but this is based on my experience. I've gotten funded a couple of times with the starter, with Top Steps, but I keep blowing those accounts. And most of it, the reason is me not really having any realistic incentive to aim for the base hit, because I was so impatient to get to the payout or get the big payout that I just ignore. It's like, I don't want to close my day on a 300. I want like a 500 or a grand for the day. And I essentially end up over leverage, over trading, increasing my risk. And then when I take a big hit, it just messes up my psychology. I go on tilt, and the account don't last more than 2 days. Since they have discontinued the 25K static, I would advise, if possible, to go with one of those milestone plans, which is something that I definitely want to do for a couple of reasons. If you can do it by yourself, I would suggest go with the starter. It's a low cost of entry, and once you pass it, you can just essentially do the same thing, but it's just like your total payout will be less compared to this. And then your life fund will be less than this. However, for me, that would be a good investment, in a sense that I essentially have to do the same thing that I've been doing right now, and by doing so, I can get to those profit target, and then just a bigger payout each phase. And then once I reach live funding, I get up to like $4,000 in live funding. So essentially, this is an interesting program, but unfortunately, it's going to end by November 30th. So if you use my code here, you can get 10% off of the milestone. You have until November 30th to get that. And if you complete all of the phases, which is 4 phases, on the 50K, after you pass each phase, you get 2K payout. So after 4 phases, you get up to 8K payout plus a live account starting at $4,000, and I think it's static. On the 100K, you get 2,500 each phase, so about 10K, and then you get a 6K on live account. And then on the 150K, you get 3K per phase that you pass, and then up to $8,000 in live account. I would suggest to go with a 50K if you are someone who hasn't really been dealt with a lot of like high risk trading, or in terms of like money wise. So if you are someone who usually deal with like, okay, it's cool for me to see price fluctuate between $100 to $300, right? But when it's fluctuating between 500 to 1,000, which these two accounts requires, it gives me some kind of anxiety. I end up over leveraging, over trading, and all this kind of stuff. So that's why I'm personally staying away from those two. I mean, 8K live funding is fine, but I feel like right now I need to build that consistency, build that confidence before I take on any other kind of distraction. So I would suggest to start with the 50K. And if you can't do none of those, just get the starter. Use the same code, same code here. Get the starter at $80, and then just apply the same rules that they have here. Apply the rule, focus on the base 8, aim for the 20% consistency rule, which is less than the 40% that they wanted on the starter, and then just focus on that. It may take longer, but you are much more guaranteed to grow as a trader, improve as a trader, and then receive payout from those accounts. So essentially, I just wanted to make this video to just as a video, as the update of the series. I had to take a little break because my psychology wasn't in the right place. I needed to figure the stuff out, and I did. So I'm back. I don't know if I'm gonna make video consistently yet. Definitely promise that by January video, the consistency of me posting on the channel will be much consistent. But right now I'm not sure. Probably we'll see what comes up. But as I'm progressing, as I'm improving on those things, I'll just update you guys. And as I said, the series to be able to consistently get paid out by those prop firms. And like I said, it's a journey, right? At the beginning, learning how to trade, then trying to get funded, and then getting the first payout. Now it's like, okay, we want to get that consistently on a consistent basis to know that we can grow as a trader, right? That, oh, I'm not just trying to, I'm a funded trader, but I'm a trader that is consistently profitable, that will give me the confidence to even do it on my own, right? So that I don't have to continuously depend on prop firm to, to prove myself as a trader. But on that note, I'll end the video here. Hope the video is insightful, and use the code, check it out. Until next time, wish you luck and safe trading. Peace.